you go for the native. You know the secret of durian? Sabihin mo native, it's not really the big ones that are cultivated or the smaller ones which are really very, very sweet. Go for sabihin mo yung native variety. The ones that are really left growing beside houses, no, tinatanim ng mga tao doon. Meron silang mga avocado, ganun, but there's always a durian tree. Ang sikreto sa durian, mapait. Kaya pag kami ang taga-Davao magtanong sa vendor, tapos magsabi may durian kayo na native, tapos pag tikim namin masarap, matamis, extra, pero pag gano'n namin mapait, yun ang hinahabol namin. Yung mapait is, what's the Tagalog, malipit? Pait is sa Tagalog is hirap, parang gano'n. But let's say also applies to flavor. Malaman mo kasi ang Pilipino, by the way, he responds to you. Gusto mo ng Bisaya, sabihin mo, meron kang dala na ano, ang Cebuano, which is actually Sugbuanon, yan ang tribe ng tatay ko. Sabi, wa. If you are talking to Bohol and Cebu, wala. Pag dumating ka sa Waray, may pera ka, Waray. Waray pera. Yung L pati R. Itong Cebuano, palimbasa tamad ang mga yawa, pati sa pagsalita. Hindi, pagsabi, meron, wa. Yung saan ang bahay mo? So, it would depend on what's the conversation about. Yung balay is bahay. Pagka babae, bahay pa rin. So, marami bang bahay dito? Oo, itay ka lang pag madalim na. Ang gabi siya mga wakwak. So, saan ang bahay ni mo is, where is your house? Tanggalin mo yung L. Wala na yung L. Basta may L, wala yan. Yan ang Cebuano. And you know, this is really the heart of the problem. Is long before yung Christians dumating, actually, well ahead was Islam. In other words, yung mga tribes doon, Maranao, Maguindanao, Iranon, Sama, Kagan, Davao, they were already Islam. So nung pagdating ng mga Spaniards, brought with them religion, Christianity, there was really a serious fight. The only thing that really, look at the turban of Lapu-Lapu, depicted yung may ganon. That's the turban of the Huluhanos. Sila nag-migrate. If you listen very carefully to itong Tausog, it's very similar to Visayan. And if they talk slowly, you would get the meat of what they are talking about. So in other words, some were really the early settlements of from Sulu, Pulo. From the, we used to be incorporated in the Sri Visayas Empire. That's the word Visayas, Sri Visayas. That was really the king of all the Malays. Kaya magkamukha tayo, Malay, Indonesia. But pumasok ang Dutch sa Indonesia, pumasok ang Espanyol sa Pilipinas, pumasok ang British sa Malaysia. Kaya nagkawatak-watak ang itong the empire of the Malay. So we were distributed, some got itong Christianity. Down there in Mindanao, most of them were already Islam. Kaya yung mabigat yung fight, and I said, Lapu-Lapu killed Magellan. Now the question, what was his religion? before Christianity in Cebu or Sugbo. They were Muslim, actually. Kaya, but they were overwhelmed by the cannons, by the muskets, and those were the rifles before. Walang pulbura. So the first time pumutok itong cannons, scared the wits of the Filipinos before, our forefathers. Some succumbed to the imperial rule of Spain and then America. But you would notice that Mindanao was never conquered by either. So, yan ang and that is the problem now. It is not religion. It never has been. It is not now. But what really drives the revolution is their homeland. Kasi pag ikaw Christian, you can trace by ano yung salita mo. Te pag lunggo ka, de Hiligaynon, that's the tribe. The Cebuanos are Sugbo or Sugbuanons. Ito mga waray, yan. Yun ang tribe natin sa Pilipinas. Itong parte. What makes it really very contentious is why they were not able, Spaniards and Americans were able to conquer Mindanao thoroughly. It's because there was this rallying point. What is that? Islam. Kaya hindi talaga napatumba. Others were, over the years, were occupied by, to date, about 500 years ago, for 400 years. Wala talaga magawa ang Pilipino but to embrace Christianity. Yan ang, that's the story. Might as well know because we're talking about production and getting lands. Mindanao, I think, is not ready. Not in all provinces. But in provinces na walang serious, gaya ng Marawi, we have the NPAs going around and asking. So the army is fighting two fronts there, terrorism and the NPAs. That keeps our hands full. Marawi is winding up. I hope that in the fullness of God's time, or last time, we'll be able to really to talk peace. Wag lang sila papasok ng ako am willing to pour everything there. I promised them rehabilitation. Wag lang sila magpapasok ng terorista. Okay, that foreign ideology is not Islam. I should know. I have an Islam blood. I think some of them are here. Lola ko. Hindi yan trabaho ng Islam magpatay tapos rape. Pati bata. Must be kidding. Kaya huwag ka lang magpapasok ng terorista. Just like the others, maybe you can commit the crime. Yung mga police gano'n, luminom, ano kayo, smago na si, dyan, motorcycle dyan sa 1 or 2, I will just look the other way. Wag lang kayong pumasok, and I'm referring it to the statement to everybody. Do not do drugs. Because if you destroy, when I was mayor, I said, if you destroy my city, now that I'm president, if you destroy my country, I will really kill you. If you destroy the young of this country, I will kill you. Now, I have been criticized by almost everybody. Look, find me a law anywhere which says that it would be wrong for me to threaten persons or people who would threaten to destroy my country or put in peril the second generation. Kung ito ang ipasa ko sa next generation, anak ninyo, pati apo ninyo kawawa. I am not saying I should be the one dealing with it. I do not monopolize talent in this planet. But kung itong mga terorista, itong mga durugista, kung hindi na kaya ng iba at ako hindi ko kaya, kawawa ang Pilipinas. And do not do that to my country. I will never allow people to destroy my country. Period. I don't give a shit if you do not like my statement. That is really the truth. Alam mo, we are a poor country. 98% of the population around, mahirap lang yan. Our only asset in this, hindi naman tayo mayaman, kinig ka dyan sa bilyon-bilyon. Wala. Sabi ko nga, if my bank account and riches would exceed 40 million, and that is my lifetime savings and my hereditary property, I will resign. I give you that word of honor guarantee. Sinabi ko sa inyo yan, corruption. There will be no corruption in this government. When I was campaigning, what I did? What promises? I was even during the presidential debates, in between, far and wide, the debates, there was this intermission. Nakita mo ako, wala akong advertisement sa wala ang pera eh. Buti na lang tumulong si Ma'am Cynthia. Tinulungan niya ako. So I have to admit it that tinulungan. Si Berna, provided me the titingin-tingin ka dyan. Inspiration. Niloloko, kaibigan kami niya. Kaibigan kami niya. Alam mo, wala tayong You think you guys, yung silabas, may pension ka, every year kinukuha ng SSS, DZXL, monthly contributions. How much would it amount to when you are retired? 100,000? 200,000? Palagay tayo 300,000. When you reach 50, papasok na yung lahat ng sakit. Hypertension, government employers, hypertension, diabetes, kidney, you begin to falter. Do you think that the 300,000 would be enough if you get to live for another 15 years? You think, how about your bread for the day? How about the expenses for your wife? She too would be suffering all kinds of ailments, rheumatism and everything nandiyan na. Magkasya yung average tao dyan sa nasa labas yung pensyon nila. Ako, I can't. Maybe ang retirement ko respect to the last salary. I could sustain in the hospital, siguro mga 1 year. Palagay natin. So after that, I have to die. Because then who would feed me? Would buy my oxygen? My antibiotics? God. Paglugaw mo, sinong anak mo. And just like our experience, pag nagkasakit ang mga anak, mama natin, pati papa, whatever properties that you have acquired during your marriage, yan ang minumortgage natin sa bangko, pinagbibili natin para lang mabuhay itong nanay pati tatay mo. Kung lahat ng gunggong na Pilipino, even a third, are out of the rockers, who will guarantee even just the painkillers for you to die at least smiling. Then you fuck with more children. Hindi tayo magkaintindihan dyan. Another, as I said, kayong nasa droga, you better, there's enough time. I'm not saying that you do extrajudicial killing. I never said that. I never ordered. There are thousands of policemen. Ask any of these guys there na sinabi ko, patayin mo yung tao na kaluhod, patayin mo yung tao with outstretched hand in surrender. Sinabi ko, go out and destroy drugs. De-organization. Now remember, I have announced that the drug in the Southeast Asia are now controlled by the Bamboo Triad, yung 14K. Sila na took over. They are cooking shabu in the international seas, in the mga barko-barko, small ships already out of commission, and then they throw overboard the bins, the plastic containing shabu, then they place a GPS where it can be located easily. And the lieutenants here would do that, and they distribute it. Ang tawag dyan, basura, yung sasina. And it's about 200 per day. At 6, it's at 1,000. At 200, that's 1 month, it's about 6,000. In a year's time, sabi mo lang, there are about 3 million Filipinos addicted. That was the figures of PDEA long before I became president. Si Bato came up with 1,300,000. At 200 times 1 month times 4 million, it's about 316 billion. That's the worth of the industry. When we were having a hard time, I was making a speech, I could count every minute. There was a plane making the pattern for the final landing. Yung Fort Bonifacio, malapit lang doon. I could not even come up with a massive infrastructure to absorb even the planes and the people coming in the Metro Manila. Saan pupunta ang Pilipino kung ganunin ninyo? I said that I have a bad mouth. Yes, correct, I have a bad mouth. I have always been a discourteous person. I have always been, basta galit ako, nagmumura ako, whatever the, I don't care about the crowd. I care about what I feel that I have to communicate to the people. My language is very important to me. And I say that Duterte is not a statesman. Why? What are the qualifications of being president? Tignan ninyo. Doesn't say natural born, tapos he must be a statesman. The statesmen are those who have they are there. But puro monumento yung do not bother, I do not need it. Sabi ko nga ako as president, maybe I have a lot there in libingan ng bayani. Kung sinong gusto magpalibing doon, I will irapol ko yan. Sino, you belong to the cemetery of the heroes, good, you stay there. May just burn my body and throw it. Sumakay ka ng bangkay, tapon mo sa dagat. But reserve a small one, place it beside my father and mother. So, dust to dust. Mother, the same. When they say na, bakit ito si Duterte so enamored with death? Yes, of course. Di ba mo, punta ka ng Marawi, alam mo, pupunta ka ng Baka matamaan ka ng sniper. Well, you will live by destiny in this world. When your time is up, it is up. Not even St. Peter. Maniwala kayong buang na niya, inaalagaan niya sa langit, yung manok niya. So, I'm really referring to, I'm addressing myself seriously. If you do not want really, why court death? Kasi ganito yan, ha? Could you give me 3 minutes? Gutom na kayo? Hindi para maintindihan ninyo. Para maintindihan ito, sino yung nagtagal human rights dito? Mag-inom ko muna ng tubig kasi sipain kita. The trafficking of drugs is not like selling yung sigarilyo dyan sa traffic o the peanuts that you can buy or the candies that you can find any. It has to be an organized thing. It's impossible to, hindi ka magsabi dyan, nadaan ka dyan sa Pasay o para niya, pabili nga ng shabu. But there was a time na ganun. Even in Mindanao, may prison na yan dyan. Bato. Patay kayo. Kung ganun, if you are that brazen, then maybe you really deserve. Kasi yung organization, there must be somebody who would cook it. Okay? Then there has to be the lieutenants who would be responsible for its distribution around the community. Third is that there has to be peddlers. Now, listen to me very carefully. The market of shabu, yay babahirap. Hindi yan uubra dito. Doon yan sa, it's really the poor who are hard hit. Seldom if you, itong mga mayaman sa Pilipinas, heroin pati cocaine, and the ecstasy drugs. And they can buy it, they can use it because they have exclusive houses, and they stay in buildings that are secured. Pero itong mga mahirap, they are the most vulnerable ones. Kaya akala nila kinakalaban ko sila, look, kayong mga mahirap na Pilipino, tinataya ko yung buhay ko para sa inyo, I mean, even when I was mayor. Yun na ang ano ko. Now, when I say to the police, you better shape up, the police also, isa pa kayo, and everybody else. Pag sinabi kong go after the shabu, I am always referring to the organized crime. Get the head. Bring the head here. Putulin ang ulo ng luhay mo dito dyan sa harap ko. Yan ang gusto ko. Organized yan eh. Now, the rule in organized crime, marami man tayong abogado dito. When you go after a conspiracy thing, it is you go against everybody connected with the organized crime. Correct? Cannot be selective. The rule is the act of one is the act of all. And the liability of one in a conspiracy of crime is the liability of all. Now the market is really the poor, and those who peddle it are really the poor guys. The lieutenants are well protected, whatever, outside of the Philippines, and they just make a call. Now, I would tell you that until now we have a problem. The drug problem in the Philippines emanates from the national penitentiaries still. Kung ano nang ginawa ng gobyerno, pinatay na yung mga putang. What? They tried. And they're the ones, just like in Latin America, Mexico, they are orchestrating everything outside. Look at Mexico. Si El Chapo, Capo. Umutot lang doon sa banyo, pumasok lang doon sa toilet, nakalabas na doon sa highway. That is how dangerous drugs are. They can really operate even under the... You cannot convince criminals, especially yung mga big time, by just talking to them and say they will be hunted. You have to strike fear. Because if the law is there and there is no fear of the sanctions of the law, it is a useless garbage for the hardened criminal. And the reason why they exist there is because of the lure of money and in the safety of their havens. Another country well entrenched and the corruption. Not true, I promise, I said that I will finish a book in 3 to 6 months. When I was campaigning, and that was my sloganeering, my template was really Davao. Now you guys, you go to Davao. You can walk about every night. Walang mag-hold up sa doon. What did it cost the Davaoenos? Well, lives sometimes. Lives of policemen, soldiers, because to date I have lost about 72 soldiers. And there's a policeman killed every day in this country, statistics. Maski ito sabi niyo kay Kian, the day after nag-raid because there was always shabu. Pagkatapos doon, binaril yung pulis. Wala lang ang balita minsan sa media. And there was another policeman killed somewhere in Surigao at that time. Now, bakit sa Mindanao maraming sundalo na matay? Why? There are more soldiers killed than policemen in Mindanao. Because as I have always been saying, Mindanao is the hotbed of shabu. At Iloilo, yung mayor na hindi na umuwi hanggang Gago, si Mabilog. Alam niya, yung parahinog, he was operating, they accused us of killing with impunity. Or how about the son of a bitch? He was lording it over the local government almost 2 decades. Everyone that lumaban sa kanya pinapatay. And of late, he was killing even policemen who objected or who did not want to participate. He was using narco state yun. Long time ago, pumasok na, long before my term. You see, sabi ko 3 to 8 months, 3 to 6 months rather. But when I became president, I already had access to all of the intelligence and data of criminality. That's why I had to come up with a statement that all of you mayors connected, I will kill you. You surrender. And you saw on TV every day until now, hundreds of thousands of skinny, ugly-looking Filipinos lining up every day, surrendering. So what precipitated the war in Marawi? Was it an outright rebellion? No. It was a police team serving the warrant of arrest of a certain guy there who was cooking shabu. And I told you, it was fueling. It fueled the war of terrorism in Marawi. It started when somebody in the police tried to serve a warrant for the arrest. There was a case filed. When they went there, to the residence or to the house, they were met with a gunfire. So the police cannot handle this because sabi ko may mga M16. So it's machine gun. So what they did was call for the reinforcement coming from the Marines. So what happened? 9 Marines died there in that skirmish. That started then we discovered Viet Cong style, the tunnels under the, sadly, even under the mosques, and how they were able to deploy and hid some like, kita mo hanggang ngayon, may labanan. We are now on the 3rd month, going forth. Nagpapat. So saan nila kinuha yung balaw? What did they get their ordnance and power, everything, IED? So sabihin mo, well, they were able to hide it over the years. So whose failure was it? It's a failure of intelligence. Then who would blame? Then I, as president, and the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces here, I have to take the blame. Wala nang iba kasi ipasa. Ang presidente na yan. And I cannot escape one day of how to explain to you why it evolved in such a huge. It is always the president who answers for the what ails this country. I cannot pass on the ako yun. So, and including the police operations, legitimate na namatay. So, sabi nila, we kill children. We do not. It ain't in my system to do that. Yung kay Kian, supposedly a very promising child, but at the time he was killed, he was suffering from a depression. So, but let me just give you something. Silipin lang ninyo. I am not attributing it to anybody or to any particular incident or event or a case handled by the police. Just, it's not the wishful thinking, but I've been mayor for 23 years. I was dealing with that problem. Bakit ang mga bata? Why the children? Why are they there outside when they're supposed to be home? There's supposed to be a curfew ordinance everywhere. Davao has it, and I enforce it. And you cannot say any minor they're walking about at come 10 o'clock. They're out of the streets. Because I enforce the law. Now I'd say that why in Duterte's time, mas marami, there may a lot of persons killed. Because the police, some of the generals, when I had access already, 9 generals of this Metro Manila were into it. And I did not operate against them for 2 months because kakapa pa ako eh. I was trying to figure out whom I can trust. But if you have a long memory like an elephant, you'd remember that about 1 week or 1 month before I took my oath of office, marami ng patayan. Then after that, and if I did not begin to operate against them, who killed those idiots? Me? Well, you can blame me, but I'm just trying to say, I'm not washing my hands, but I'm just trying to say, I was not operating at that time. Ngayon, akin na. So, if, you know, when I say 3 to 6 months, how can I solve the problem in 3 to 6 months when I unang the first among many of the documents contained the names of 9 generals of this idiotic city. Police generals. Garbo is one. I don't know if he's still alive. Diyan pa ba yung putang ina niya? He's still in the service. So, but I fired him out. He was the senior police military aide of Rojas. Putang ina. What would have happened kung si Rojas na presidente? And Loot, this idiot general, after retirement, immediately ran for mayor and he won. To your sorrow, maybe someday kayo mga taga-daan bantayan. You have a general, there's an idiot. And if you want another objective, maybe adjective. Well, a son of a bitch. Do not show your... You want to get me? Because of what I mean? You wait until I retire. Magkita tayo. Putang ina ninyo. Ano kung takot-takutin. You're a shit. And you will remain a shit to me in front of me for all time. And I don't like shit people. Now, organized crime. Allah. Kasi, yun, no? Kasi kayo dyan, biniran ninyo ang barong ko. Murahin lang kasi ito sa SM. Tignan mo, no? SM ito. Tinila-hila ninyo, tingnan mo. Itong aide ko. My aide is from the Philippine Navy. But she's a graduate of Annapolis. This lady. Hindi, pakita ko dyan. Take a bow. Take a bow. She's my military aide. But she's in Navy and Annapolis yan. When I say, why the poor people? The poor people, because they're operating and we are getting them from amongst poor people. Where do you want me to operate? In Forbes Park? No, wala man doon. Those guys there, we go out, we go to America. Go to America, yan. The sad part of it is that they have learned how to use how to cook shabu. Met, and I said with this kind of liberalism, putting more emphasis on the rights of criminals would get you to nowhere one day. Believe me, mark my word. Mark my word. Because it's cheap. Heroin and maybe cocaine cannot destroy the mind of a person in a short time. It has to be a long process. Kaya mga artista, they take cocaine in Hollywood, and yet they're able to act. Well, I was saying a documentary about Wine, the singer. Pero itong shabu, poppy is a plant. Heroin pati cocaine. But shabu is a chemical. And they use water from the battery of the water battery sa tubig noon. Ayan ang killing poor people. So I'm sorry. If you are part of the organization and you are poor, I'm sorry. If you are a mayor like Osame City and you are killed there together with your wife, I'm sorry. And look, the obscenity of it all. His son, yung si Ardot, kayong taga-Osamis. This is Mindanao. I am sure 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or 5 from Osamis are here. Look at the house of his son. There is a wallpaper. What is the wallpaper? It's money. Pera, tag 500 pesos, ginawa niyang wallpaper na pera. That is how excess and how obscene then blame me for the deaths of, if you are really a part of this. And I've been warning the police also. That is why, alis na ako, ma'am, sorry 40% of the total barangays are contaminated with shabu. So how many barangays are there all? 42,000, yeah, tama ma'am. 42,000 barangays all over the Philippines. 40% of that, mga barangay captain and mayors, most of them are actually protectors. Pag hinuni ng police, tawag, is my leader. That's just a small time, once a year or two. That's why they can operate, because the mayors, there are money also. Come election time, they would need the money. And that is why I presented to Congress this situation. I will tell you now that there are about 9 or 11 to 11,000 policemen all over the country who are into drugs. And you ask me, what will happen to them if they are part of the organized crime? Putang ina nyo, I will kill you. Don't. I said, don't. I don't give a shit who you are. There are 40% barangays. About 11,000 plus policemen. Cebu is the worst. To some of our users. But you can just imagine my heartache. Anong nangyayari sa bayan ko? We've been a narco state since about 5 years ago. No particular focus on any president. He just responded because everybody was just complacent. And the mayors are there. No election. His opponent, he just killed him. It's in Mindanao. You think this is perfect? It's not even a working democracy in the countryside. The candidates are there, and you go campaigning to the mountains, they would ask money, campaign fee. Is this democracy? Then you have these drug lords funding politicians. So I presented this to the Congress. And I said, what are you suggesting or for a postponement of the case? And some newspapers started to talk that they wanted more powers because I would want a postponement or the abolition, then I want to appoint them. Excuse me, I do not need that. I do not need to scurry the favor of anybody. As a politician, I am true. I cannot run again. Then do not blame me because I'm acting like a policeman. No, I am not. But I am just like a mayor before. I build a city. This time I am building my country. Do not make it hard for us. Do not make it hard for us. Because if you do, then we will all sink to hell. I am ready to do it. Do not threaten me with impeachment. Go ahead. And just this afternoon, I was a guest of the military. There's a new army commander. And I said, many garbage is being thrown around. Meron kayong mga kaibigan, it's just a computer. Pindutin lang ninyo. If you have a sister there, ask her to. If my money exceeds 40 million, includes, I was been mayor since 1988. And all of the interest there is masala because I lived with my mother. Libre kami. I got free lodging there because I was stayed with my mother. She has a bit of money, so I was enjoying free board and lodging for many years. She just died 3 years ago. Kaya yung sweldo ko nandun. And it has reached 3 million ever since. If you know, do you know why? I already signed a waiver. Gagawain mo kung this time, the idiot, Trillian is asking na, magpa-auto waiver. Even if it is true that it has billions, you cannot use it. Ito siya padrama, you cannot use it because that is illegally obtained. There is no AMLAC, money laundering agreement, who oversees the deposit. If there is one, you got it without the AMLAC resolution. The Anti-Money Laundering Council must first examine at least a predicate of your money. So from now on, sabi ko sa kanya, well, it was also yung mistress niya si Abad. Yan. Abad is with the money. Siya yung pumindot kasi lumabas sa computer yung you have to have a password. Abad is the mistress of Trillanes. She was the one who passed it to Trillanes. Trillanes, debit, credit, inad niya. Credit mo lang yan. Trillanes. Kaya sabi ko sa kanya, go ahead and file the case. Then I challenged the 3 persons. Ako kasali, one of them, that bugs the Filipino every day with so many issues. The Chief Justice and the Ombudsman and me. I said, why don't we resign? We go to Congress, and that is I renew my suggestion. You bring with you and my statement from AMLAC. Then we sign a letter of resignation. I dare you, we do that. Hinahamon ko kayo, if you are really honest, totally you have been there for several years, including me, why don't we just resign? We go to Congress, harapan natin si Senator Villar, the rest. Then we all sign simultaneous. Then we give it to the senator. So this is the AMLAC. Ngayon, kung talagang hindi kayo salbahe, hindi kayo magnanakaw, hindi you are qualified to hold a job, you should accept my dare. Kasi matanda ako, 72 kayo. By the looks of how thick your glasses are, cannot walk straight kung wala yan. Pardon me, it's not you, ma'am. You look beautiful with that. I've been looking at you. Sometimes nakakalimutan ko nga tuloy. Yeah, that's my parting words. If you know them, convince them. Accept Duterte's challenge. Then we go quietly into the night. Me, I've been mayor for 23 years. I ran for congressman. I ran for mayor again during my daughter's time. She's now the mayor of Davao. I never lost an election. including the presidency. What more do I want from God and the people? Tapos na ako. I am beyond yung adoration, yung gano'n na palakpak. Duterte, Duterte. It does not appeal to me at all. Do not be offended, pero I do not find any fulfillment. All I have to do is I want to do my job. Kung kayo gusto ninyo, kaya sabi ko sa military listening, and during the ceremony, you have all the intelligence and apparatus. If you think that I'm corrupt and I am not worth the position, oust me, please. Sinabi ko sa kanila kanina, tanggalin ninyo kung ito kudeta or whatever you want. Then find the leader that maybe this the Filipino nation would be happy listening to. And again, you have forgotten about agriculture. Do not worry. As long as the land is there will, in the fullness of God's time, we will improve. Dandahan lang. God wills it, I'll be here for about another 5 years. Go. But the stakes are there for the crime. As I said, I promise you, go back to ako yung nauna in the presidential debate. I was the first one. Promised you corruption. I will stop it. I will stop it. I just fired two employees from Malacanang for making a call and suggesting that this wasn't it. For just suggesting. Yesterday, I said, go. I fired cabinet members at this early. Either you really stay clean, you have to have clean nose here. No corruption ako dyan. And I said, I want your relationship with me personal. There's an 888. State the name. What's the transaction about? How much was asked of you? And I will take it from them. And I will assure you protection. As a matter of fact, you're afraid to make an expose. Go to Malacanang. There's just 2 small rooms there. I'll give you the bigger one. Doon ka patirahin ko. And every citizen. There's an 888. Lagay mo lang, or if you do not done an alias, AKA, also known as where? This is Ernie, and I'd like to report to you the register of deeds. Kaya ako, ito, in the years past, it's always minsan 1 year dyan sa NEDA. Ito dito, sinasabi ko sa inyo, if you have a complaint, please do it immediately because the directors are just given 15 days. Cabinet members are only given 1 month. Either you approve it or disapprove it, state the reason why. Yan lang, ang papel does not reach me. I do not sign contracts for the government. I do not review it. I do not want to talk to businessmen. I am just working on state papers. But yung about business in this country, because I do not know about, ayaw ko makialam. I just want to be left alone to sign. I said I'm not available for re-election. So what do? I walk. But I am. My wife is listening. I have 2 wives. I'm separated from the first. I have a wife, my daughter sa second. I need 2 more for inspiration and salamat po.
DZXL Special Coverage.
At mga kasama, inyo pong napakinggan ang talumpati ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa pagbubukas ng AgriLink, FoodLink at Aqualink sa World Trade Center sa Pasay City. Binigyan din po ng Pangulo ang kahalagaan ng sustainability ng bansa sa supply ng mga produktong agrikultura. Naniniwala siyang ang Mindanao ang susi ng bansa para sa malalim na supply. Fertile daw kasi ang lupa rito at hindi masyadong mabagyo. Kaya naman malaking kawalan sa bansa ang pinsalang idinudulot ng mga terorista, lalo na ng mga banyagang terorista. Binigyan din ng Pangulo sa kanyang talumpati ang muli na hindi niya ginusto ang pagdedeklara ng martial law sa Marawi pero hindi niya raw ito ginawa. Malamang daw ay ma-impeach din siya dahil sa kasong jeopardy. Hindi man nagbanggit kung kailan matatapos ang gulo sa Marawi, nabanggit ng Pangulo na patapos na ang gulo rito. Handa raw siyang ibuhos ang pondo para sa rehabilitasyon nito basta't siguraduhin lamang na hindi na muling makakapasok ang mga terorista. Pagdating naman sa issue ng pag-import at pag-export ng mga produktong agrikultura ng bansa, ayaw daw niyang kontrahin ang estilo ni Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol. Pero dapat daw masiguro na sapat ang supply sa bansa bago mag-export at sa pamamagitan nito hindi na kailangan mag-import ng mga produkto. Di rin maiwasang muling mabanggit ng Pangulo ang kanyang kampanya kontra illegal na droga. Binigyan din niya na ang utos niya sa mga otoridad ay ang sugpuin ang ulo ng organisasyon ng illegal na droga sa bansa. At mga kasama, para po sa iba pang mga balita. Armed Forces of the Philippines wala pang planong irekomenda kay Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte na bawiin ang umiiral na martial law sa Mindanao. Kasama natin sa balita, Radyoman Rhea Mamogay.
DZXL Report.
Wala pa sa plano ng militar na irekomenda kay Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte na bawiin na ang pagpapairal ng martial law sa Mindanao. Isa-isang panayam binigyang diin ng bagong talagang Philippine Army Chief Major General Rolando Joselito Bautista na malaking tulong sa kanila ang martial law para mapabilis at mas maging epektibo ang kanilang trabaho sa Marawi City at mga katabing lugar. Ibinunyag pa ni Bautista na may ibang mga grupo na tangkang manggulo sa gagawing rehabilitasyon ng Marawi o maglunsad ng mga pag-atake sa ibang lugar para bulabugin ang militar. Kaya naman malabo sa ngayon na ipagpawalang bisa ang martial law. Hanggang Disyembre 31 ngayong taon ang pagiging epektibo ng deklarasyon ng martial law ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Sa pamamagitan ng Globe Telecom, kasama mo sa Campo Aguinaldo, Radyoman Rhea Mamogay ng DZXL 558 Tatak RMN.
Samantala mga kasama, balita po sa probinsya, drug suspect na dati nang sumuko sa Oplan Tokhang, abay naaresto po ulit sa Marilao, Albaya. Mula RMN Legazpi, kasama natin sa balita, Radyoman Leo Barceliano.
Matagumpay ang pag-serve ng search warrant mula sa korte sa isang nagbalik-loob na sa Oplan Tokhang na isang tulak ng droga sa Phase 3 Barangay Estansa, Marilao, Albay. Sa pinakalang ulat ngayon, matagumpay ang pag-serve ng search warrant kung saan ito ay nakuna ng 4 na plastic sachet na naglalaman na pawang methamphetamine shabu sa pamamahay mismo ng dati na nagbalik-loob sa pamahalaan na kinilalang si Angelo Pagaspas Bundal. Ito na ngayon, napatunayan na sa kabila ng kanyang pagperma na kanyang itinatakwil ang droga, subalit ito panay patuloy siyang nagtutulak at nagbibinta ng naturang illegal na droga. Mula sa lungsod ng Legazpi, lalawigan ng Albay, Bicol Region. Ito yung Radyoman Leo Barcelero ng DZXL Legazpi, Tatak RMN.
At senior citizen, critical matapos masangkot sa road crash sa Mariveles, Bataan. Mula RMN Bataan, kasama natin sa balita, Radyoman Mike Sigaral.
Nasa maselang kondisyon ang isang 60 anyos na lalaki makaraang mabunggo. Ang minamaneho nitong tricycle ng isang sports utility vehicle sa Roman Highway, sakop ng Sitio Bakery, Barangay Alasasin, Mariveles.